Living a dream. Everyone wants to live the dream, whatever the dream is to them in their mind with their goals. No one wants to be stuck in a nightmare. Sometimes in life, we get caught in a bad situation. And if you ask me, is living in a car a dream or a nightmare? I would say in my 3 years living in my car, it's never been a nightmare. Why? Because the worst thing you could be is living with someone that you don't feel good about. You know, you are in a bad relationship. There's a saying that the loneliest you will ever feel is in a relationship, a bad relationship. So even if you have no roommates, and if you have roommates right there, you probably testify right now you're living a nightmare. If you're in a house you can't afford, you'll probably testify you're living a nightmare. If you are in an environment, a state, a specific town you don't like, you're living a nightmare. What is the dream? The dream is hope. The dream is belief that that hope can materialize to reality. The dream is a level of financial independence. The dream is to have enough health to enjoy it. What's up, Frank? Good to see you. Frank's a good member. He's getting caught up because his emotions, he's falling in love with a girl. And it's not easy to get out of a relationship. It's an entanglement, one of the worst entanglements you'll ever get. It's easier to get out of a 30-year mortgage than it is a relationship. Number one cause of stress, number one cause of nightmares in the world are relationships. If you're single, you're blessed. Maybe you don't have all the physical attributes you want. Maybe you're not tall enough. Maybe your body is not shapely enough. Maybe you're not that desirable, and maybe you feel mad at God, and maybe you have a right to feel that way. But also maybe the Lord spared you from the headache and the heartache of many people who are living a nightmare. What does it take to live the dream? Like I say, I think there's two major cornerstones. I think it takes a level of money, and I think it takes a level of physical and mental well-being to enjoy it. Okay. How much money? I always tell you guys, have a target of an income of $2,000 a month. If you worked full-time at DoorDash, if you worked full-time at Walmart, and you did a little side hustle, if you cleaned houses, basic jobs, if you put some effort into them, and you had some side hustles, you can get that. And as a single person, you can achieve some objectives. If you don't put effort into your life's going to suck. There's some people that get mad at me because I put effort in. I value my time. I value what I do. They don't value their time. They don't put effort into their life. You have to create boundaries between people. Why? People can make your life a nightmare. You're living the dream, and other people make your life a nightmare. Frank, Tesla earnings this week. Their price to earnings ratio is still way above average evaluation. They're way overvalued. However, people think they will grow exponentially, very rapidly over the course of the coming years, and they're willing to give Elon Musk the benefit of the doubt, and thus the evaluation is allowed to grow just like Amazon. Would I buy their stock? I don't recommend any stocks. Everyone has to do what they want. Liz, good to see Liz. Great member, living in the best motorhome. I'll say it time and time again. I'm still upset, Liz. I look every day on RV Trader. I'm still upset that they don't make the Corrado Axiom. The Heimer Group went out of business. I know they got bought out by a Thor company, but they haven't re-upped yet. But Liz, and I was thinking about her last night, praying for you, caught in an entanglement with a relationship. But thank God that you have a fully self-contained RV. And thank God that I believe you have the emotional and financial ability to be able to live independent. So Liz, listen to this. Everything right now that you're fighting is all in your mind. Monsters live in your head, not in your bed. Your nightmare is in your mind, not the reality. The reality is you have the resources, you have the vehicle to live independently and live a great life. You obviously have the mental and physical wherewithal at a certain level, okay, to be able to drive that vehicle and live that life. So what I tell you is don't let these monsters in your mind And some of these emotions keep you prisoner. I love you. I want to add value to your life. However long we're together, no one owes me anything, and I don't owe anything to anyone. What we're trying to do in life is we're trying to live our dream. Part of our dream is saying, look, this is the course I'm going. Okay. I'm not looking to run over people. I'm not looking to hurt people. However, I'm also not going to allow people to jump their big ass on my windshield and hold me back. Because you best believe when you start up your rig, mentally or physically, there's going to be some people, they jump right on your hood because they don't want you to leave them behind. People living a nightmare, they don't have hope for a dream. The only hope they have is to pull you into their nightmare. Remember that movie, Freddy Krueger? What was it? What was the Nightmare Before Elm Street? I think it was. Freddy Krueger used to work on pulling people into the nightmare. You want to separate from those people. Boundaries. Changing phone numbers, members only, whatever it takes in the boundary room. And you want to be around people that pull you into a dream, into a better place in life. Does that matter? Damn right it matters. Excuse me, about 100 degrees. I had to roll down these windows a little bit. It's hot as hell. Hot as hell right now. Liz, I love you all my heart. And Frank Breeze, I love you, man. I'm praying for you, man. Stay positive. Stay positive, guys. I got my laptop here, my Chromebook, $250 3 years ago from Walmart. Okay? That's what I read the things on. I don't really need to block any more people anymore. Why? Because the Yacht Club members only chat that I've been doing for a couple weeks, we haven't had one shooting. No fights, no trolls. You say, Sam, your views may go down. Hey, guys. When you're living below your means, you can set the parameters in your life. Does that matter? It's the difference between a dream and a nightmare. You know what a nightmare it is to go live and to have people just write anything, speak to your mind however they want? You know, Gandhi had a saying, I won't let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. I want you to have a free public chat. See how that goes for you. Okay? So let's continue. Liz, leaving another small town, leaving another is a small death. It is so hard. It's true, Liz. But what I found in my own life, and I think you'll testify to this, the loneliest you will ever feel is in a relationship. If you want to die, stay in an unhealthy relationship. If you want to die, stay where you're not appreciated. You won't die living in a car. You damn sure ain't going to die living in a Corrado accident. You're going to be living a dream. You can die in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhome with someone who doesn't appreciate you. Your creativity dies. Your inspiration dies. Your soul dies. Right there in that beautiful suburb with someone who doesn't appreciate you, doesn't let you be yourself. Got to clean my screen a little bit. So that's what it is. Liz, Elon is selling everything just like us. Elon's a hustler. Elon's a hustler. Now, he used government subsidies to get where he's at. Okay? Like I say, Elon started, but the bottom line, he adds value. Okay? So I may not be a Tesla fan. I may not be an Elon Musk fan. But the bottom line is he adds value to society. Some people put a value, and I recognize, even though I don't personally like him, I recognize that he has added value. So again, I can say that you don't have to personally like someone to just respect that they're different, but they add value. And so I think there's a place that Elon Musk has in society that is valuable, bottom line. And so, yeah, I respect that. Let me just try to clean my screen, guys. Oh, uh-oh. Never try to clean your screen. Oh, shit. Huh. All right, it's going to have to be the way it is. Edith, I'm from my laptop. My nightmare equals laying on my deathbed, having never experienced freedom. Oh, you got to get that 31-year-old son out your house. You want to travel and you want to see the country. From the time I graduated, I've worked and I've raised a son. I think about you too as a single parent. I think about all my single parents. Not living my dreams. Now, that's the hardest part about having a kid. I respect all mothers and fathers that have raised a kid, especially single mothers or single fathers because it's double the work. But I've also dated some MILFs, and I also, have seen it in my life that parents, once their children are grown, parents need to go live again because they've made a huge sacrifice if they've been a good parent. And I would say I've been blessed. I'm not. No one has the perfect parents, but I would say out of many other people in this world, I am fortunate. I am blessed to have a loving mother that pretty much gave me anything I wanted, and a father that did the best he could. I mean, there's certain things that, but I've been blessed. But look, guys, you get to a certain point, they have to live their life. And that's a tough thing, especially if they're not go-getters. I respect for the fact that I try to show respect to everyone. Like, I respect my siblings, like, in a general standpoint that I don't want to disrespect, and I'm thankful for them. But I'm the only one out of 3 siblings that was a go-getter. Okay. So I often tell all my parents out there, you get a Cain and you get an Abel. You may get one child that's very ambitious, that's hardworking, that's positive. You can make another one that's a disaster. All children have their pros and cons. I have my cons. So there's no exact science to life. And there's certainly people that have children that have a disability that they can't live on their own. But if they got a disability, don't let them bring home a drug addict. Don't let them sit around all day. I mean, guys, you got to do something. But I'll never try to tell a parent what to do in the same sense. Why? Because that's their job to figure out your dream and your nightmare. But I remember my mom watching like the Lifetime channel and dreaming about, a different life sometimes. And I used to get frustrated. I said, Mom, why do you watch this stuff? It's so fake. And she goes, so Sam, I know my life is what it is. Sometimes I like to think, it just helps me to escape. And as I got older in life, I appreciate the escape mindset. RVing, living in your car, being a traveler, it's the ultimate escape. Many RV dealers sell you freedom, free like a bird, and it is freer than the average life, but you can't get away from life. Is the RV, nomadic, car living, truck living life better than the conforming life? Is it the dream or is it the nightmare? It's only the dream if you're not stuck in a bad relationship. Like Liz, she's got the best, in my opinion, the best RV on the market. But she's struggling to get out of a relationship. She's living a nightmare right now. I know what she feels. I felt that way before in my life. It's very tough. So the dream is many things, but the dream is definitely able to be lived, I think, easier with less attachments. Because your whole life you're trying to keep away things that pull you down. Emotionally, financially, mentally. And that's not easy. Like I always tell you guys, self-care, full-time job. Let's continue to read. But I appreciate where you're going, Edith. Edith says, aside from being a nomad, the only way to live my dream would be to win the lottery. But I don't buy lottery tickets as I'm not a gambler. I hear you that. I've lost more money gambling and investments than I have working. The best investment is to get a steady stream of income, get a year's worth of expenses in a savings account, and then, play with money however you want, pay off debt, and then do what you want. But like I say, try to get a $2,000 budget going as a, look, as someone who's raised a child now and your child's grown, I think you can do that. If you were living in an RV and let's just say you financed a Travato, a Corrado, they don't make the Corrado, something like that, it's about $500 a month for 20 years. The $500 a month plus, $500 for food, plus insurances, health insurance, whatever, you're going to need, around $1,500 to $1,700 to get by. And then you always want to put a couple $100 a month in savings. You want to form that budget to give you the freedom. Because again, if you're living in a car, van, or RV and you don't have enough to make ends meet, you're living a nightmare. You're living a nightmare. And that's why you really have to look at a budget, and then you really have to look at your health. Your money and your health are the two factors that will give you the most possibility to live the dream. Because there's certainly factors like, this coronavirus is a disaster for mental health, physical health, jobs, businesses. Forgive me, guys, for having the windows. I don't know how the sound's coming across, but it's fucking hot as hell. It's about 100 degrees. I'm living in my car. Is it a dream or a nightmare? Well, extreme temperature plays a part. Never forget it. But I'm thankful. Like I said, I missed out on a home base the other day. I missed out on a couple Corrado Axions. But sometimes what calms me down, I was very upset this morning, what calms me down is saying, Sam, look, you don't have a lot of commitments. You're living the dream. That's the dream for me. At least knowing I'm not stuck. It helps me get through the bad days. Having my health, having my wherewithal, those things I got to be thankful for. I got to remember that to talk me off the ledge. I got to remember that to push me forward. So do you. Let's continue to read. Frank, do you think everything will be open in Florida by October? That's a great question. I think Florida's facing some real obstacles. Number one is their cases are jumping. Number two is their number one economic driver is tourism. Tourism is down hugely, not just domestically, but internationally. Therefore, unemployment is very high in Florida, and already Florida is not a high-paying state, okay? So if you take away tourism, the locals are going to be real poverty, okay? Because most people who go to Florida are people from the northern states that bring money, buy their retirement home or their second home, and they flounder around. Of course, there's exceptions, but this is most. Or international people, they travel, they spend a lot of money. Most of the locals work in service industries, okay? At the Starbucks, at the restaurants, being a waitress, at Orlando theme parks, okay? The healthcare is a big industry. Why? Because the baby boomers are older. Healthcare is a big industry. But even healthcare pays a little bit lower. Okay. Florida is going to face some major obstacles. But I think in 12 months, I think the country should be in a better place if managed somewhat decently. Whether you have the vaccine or whatever. Because the bottom line is, as of today, 5,000 people have died from the coronavirus in Florida. 12,000 in New York, so still more in New York. Now, New York has more people, so there's a percentage ratio. But out of 140,000 deaths in America due to the coronavirus, only 5,000 have died in Florida. What's the population in Florida? Let's look at that right now. Now, again, I take all these numbers with a grain of salt, meaning that if my mom lived in Florida or wherever and she gets the coronavirus, I'm devastated. Okay, so but we need to look at everything from a holistic perspective. I'm Googling right now on my laptop, Florida population. Okay. So the population in Florida is 21.5 million. Okay. Out of 21.5 million people that live in Florida, 5,000 have died. That's less than 1%. What's 1% of 21 million? Well, what's 10%? 10% of 21 million is about 2 million and change. So what's 10% of 2 million and change? 200,000? So guys, 5,000. That's like 0.001% of the population. We have to take that in perspective. Now, again, if you're one of the affected, I don't belittle your pain or suffering. And I don't belittle the virus. I don't call it a hoax. I call it what it is. It's an issue that we're faced with and we have to deal with. Okay. However, we have to look at everything from a holistic perspective. Good comment. I appreciate all my members. Thank you, everyone who's in here. Edith, Liz, Frank Breeze. Thank you to all my members. I appreciate you. I hope my videos help you in some way. Let's continue to read. So yeah, do I think Florida will be open by October? I think they will push for it because if they don't have tourism, it's going to get worse, not better. And they count on Canadian tourism, international, all that, the snowbirds, all that. Frank, when I go to Southeast Florida, what part should I go? I would say, look, once you get from the Treasure Coast down to Dade County. So, again, once you get to the Treasure Coast all the way down to Miami Beach, just travel up and down the East Coast on A1A, find areas that you like, and pick a spot. Because it's hard for me to say the exact spot because they all have a different flavor. But I would say that's Southeast. To me, and technically, Southeast is once you get into the Gulf Stream that comes up on the East Coast, which is pretty much from Vero Beach down to Miami Beach. Now, some of the places on that strip are a disaster. high crime, bad neighborhoods. Vero Beach has some homeless. West Palm Beach, not good. Lake, there's plenty of places, guys, that are on that even A1A strip that aren't that nice. Within those places that even aren't nice are nice areas. Like, West Palm Beach to Palm Beach, big difference. Sometimes, you just have to remember that. So, until you visit an area, until you spent several weeks there, don't make any commitments. Why? Because you can be living a nightmare in Florida. You damn sure right. Oh, guys, a lot of people living in poverty, a lot of people begging on the streets in Florida. Now, a lot of beautiful women, a lot of luxury in Florida. There's both. There's the dream and the nightmare in Florida. You can live a dream or a nightmare in your car. You can live a dream or a nightmare anywhere in life. The thing is, you really have to dissect life. What makes life a dream versus a nightmare? Well, again, your health. Again, a level of financial independence. Again, not being in a bad relationship. So your housing, car, whatever. What makes living in a car a nightmare? You don't have temperature control. You don't have a lot of room. But, it's also, you don't have a lot of attachments. You can change. You're not stuck. Got to push forward. Let's continue. Edith, my son has disabilities, which, long story short, is what brought us back to Ohio. I feel your pain on that. As I thought it was the best state to force him to engage in becoming a productive individual. Has it? And it has. Oh, it has worked. It has worked, Edith? Let me take a hydration break. That's a good comment. Well, I will say this. I have two siblings, two sisters. They're both on disability. Okay. One on SSI, one on SSDI. Okay, meaning that one of them did work, and then because of their disability, which is mainly a drug habit, they couldn't take the stress mentally of work and whatever. And the other one, through other issues, got some type of immune system problem, whatever. So I got two siblings on disabilities. And what I can tell you is they're a little bit different in personality, okay? One is able to somewhat live on her own, but she's entangled in a bad relationship because she can't financially support to be on her own. Okay. The other one kind of still entangled with my mom, maybe like your son. There's many different disabilities. I know some people with a Harley Davidson with a big pickup truck, and they got a handicap sticker, and they park sideways before they go into Lowe's Home Depot to do side work on the weekends. So disabilities come in all ranges. Okay. I don't claim to know everyone's individual circumstance, and I'm not saying everyone is right or wrong. I'm just saying that there's only so much you can do. There's only so much my mom can do. Now, will my mom spend the rest of her life in New Jersey because she is in your similar position to you? She's got children that have disabilities, technically by the law. And she may stay up here forever because of that entanglement. That's her choice. I can't tell a mother what to do. I don't claim to tell mother what to do. I just try to share with you guys my life and my thoughts. It's a very challenging thing. Very challenging. And I pray for the mothers out there. That's a tough thing. Pray for the fathers too. Anyone that's a caretaker. Caretaker is the ultimate burden. And that's why I say I think I failed at the end. There's not much I could do. When my dog got sick, I realized how hard it was to be a caretaker. I said, I'll never have a dog again. I'll never be a caretaker again. It's just, it's heartbreaking. It's crushing. It's a roadblock to definitely your dreams, I think. It's, like we have a dream that we're going to meet someone we love, have a child, or we're going to have a child to keep the dream alive of the relationship. And the dream is we're going to buy baby clothes, we're going to be playing on the park. The reality is those children begin to get their own personality. They talk back to you. They want their independence. They're a financial burden. You get older in life. You've sacrificed so much. You want to live your dream. Now you're caught in their nightmare. It's not easy to be a parent. Think twice. Get a vasectomy. Or don't have another one. Love to you, Edith. I'll be thinking about you. But I'm interested to know, you're saying helping, it did help him to go back to Idaho? Liz, after yesterday's chat, I'm going to try living in the Corrado after this Airbnb ends on July 31st. All right, good. Well, as we make this live feed, love to you, Liz. It is July 19th. So I think that's good. It gives you about 14 days to mentally prepare to get your rig set up. And I want to look. Well, I got good Wi-Fi now. I want to look at the. You asked me yesterday about Marin County, and where is that? Is that in Florida? You were asking about, Liz? Marin County, because I see one in Florida, and that's by Ocala, Florida. I don't like Ocala, Florida. It's like the country land. Not good. Not good. So, but you could go to the Ocala National Forest, I think, and camp for free for 14 days. Do I recommend you do that? Nah, I don't like that area. But I would definitely want to encourage you to look at the 1,000 Trails camping pass. Just the camping pass, $600, one-time fee, don't commit. You got it for a full year. Why? Because you're going to have full utility hookups, you're going to have a safe, legal place to park, and that will get you out of the entanglement you're caught into. That will get you out of the Airbnb. It'll get you away from this guy. You can go anywhere in the country. You know, I'm not going to say all their parks are great. I'm not going to say you're going to like all of them. But I'm saying you're not committed. You have safe, legal place. And it'll start you on a journey to your next step. Let me know what area you were thinking about, Liz. Sorry about that, Liz. Oh, you said Marin in North San Francisco? All right, Edith, I'm going to get back to you too. Let me look, because I said I would do this, Liz, when I had Wi-Fi. I got good Wi-Fi today. So I want to look at the 1,000 Trails map in San Francisco. I thought you were in San Francisco. Yeah, so I'm pulling it up now. I Googled 1,000 Trails camping pass map, and it's loading. And then it's going to show pins of different campsites, and we're going to find one in that area. And this, of course, it's a little bit... I don't know why it's taking long to load up. All right, here we go. Bear with me, guys. I appreciate you. That's weird. I got Wi-Fi and that damn thing ain't loading. I'll try one more time and I'll go back to live comments. I don't know why that's not loading. Yeah, let's try California. I've seen a lot in California. I don't know why it doesn't want to load. Well, I'll let it load now. I'll just go to Edith's comment. We'll come back to that. So sleeping, cleaning, organizing space, nervous, park night. Yeah, I would recommend staying away from parking in people's driveway and stealth parking, especially in the beginning, because it's a little scary. And I want you to build up your confidence. You know, confidence is an empowering thing that allows you to live your dream. There's no way in life that you can live your dream and be insecure, and it's very hard. So how do you get your confidence? Like, I remember in basketball, it was like, if you weren't making a lot of jump shots, the key was to get a couple layups, a couple shots at the basket, close to the basket, so it was easier. And as you made a couple shots, your confidence would grow, and then you can step further away from the basket. So that's why I'm recommending the 1,000 Trails if we can find it in your area, even if you have to travel a little bit, because I want you to gain your confidence by making easy campground stops, have all the utility hookups, have safe, legal parking, and then over time you can build up your confidence to branch out a little bit. Let's continue. Edith, Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma just have him subsidized, okay, for his disabilities, where Idaho made him go through education, okay, and job seeking to stay in a program. That's good. And he now has a well-respected job and car. Good job, Edith. Yeah, that's a great, excellent point. I had another viewer, forgot her name, Vicky from Minnesota. She had a son with a disability. She lived in Minnesota. She was thinking of going to Florida, but she ended up trying to go to California because California had more subsidies for her child with disability. So it is different. In America, we're 50 states that are all united under the federal government. And each state, though, has its own laws and its own benefits. Like Florida doesn't have state income tax. So everyone says, oh, I want to live in a state with no income tax. But when you live in a state with no income tax, you're not putting in any and you're not really getting that much out. Meaning the unemployment benefits in Florida are about half of what they are in New Jersey. So in New Jersey, you pay state income tax, okay? Now, part of those benefits, which are unemployment, you'll get, for regular unemployment, you get $500-$600 a week, not including like the extra because of the coronavirus. In Florida, you only get $275. So that's one example out of many. Like same thing with disability and other things. Usually in the states that don't tax you with income, then they also don't give you many benefits. Okay, so there's always that risk reward or give and take ratio of life that even though California, it's true, they're a high tax state, they also have high benefits. They also have a lot of job opportunities. Now, again, it depends where you go, okay? And so every state has its good and its bad. There's no state in America, in the world, that has all good, no bad. And so you really have to look at the details. You have to peel back the layers to see if where you go would be a dream or a nightmare. But one is, I give you credit, Edith, for being a mother. 2, for raising a child with disability. That's tough. 3 is for thinking of them over yourself. That's what a mother, a parent does. And I hope that the Lord gives you a time window, an opportunity to go out there and live life a little bit so that you can get some joy back and you can experience some freedom. It is a burden to be a caretaker. I give you a lot of credit, Edith. Now, Edith is from Vero Beach area. That's the Treasure Coast. Let's read what Edith has to say. She don't like that area. She never going back. Edith says, Treasure Coast, my birth area, near Vero Beach. It's a balance between crime, elderly, and rich bitches. Yep. Gotta find something in the middle pockets. I agree. Vero Beach has some decent areas, mainly on Highway A1A, not inland. There's a lot of homeless. There's some drug problems in Vero Beach. Not all bad. But I would go a little bit further south. Yeah, I would. I wouldn't stop at Vero Beach. I agree with Edith on that. Edith says, I was a caretaker for my mother as she was dying, and the comments she made, even against her religious beliefs, is what has more focused on not dying in a nightmare state of not living. Yeah, okay, that's a good comment, because if I'm understanding it right, like when you're old and you're suffering, you'd rather die than live, if I'm reading this right. Yeah, and it's basically like that's where you believe, like, not everyone who commits suicide, not that I'm promoting that or anything, but like the guy Robin Williams, like he was like deteriorating or supposedly, and he just couldn't take it anymore. Like they had Dr. Kevorkian that used to assisted living killing. Again, not that I promote that, and not that, but I'm just trying to make the point that I can empathize that how at the end of life, if you suffer so much, like even when I sit with my mom now, I go to see her at night, I know she's in pain. I mean, it's a struggle for her to go to the bathroom. So, it's, you don't want to see someone you love suffering. That's how it was so hard for me to put my dog down. I went back and forth on my mind for months. And even the day I was scheduled to put my dog down, I canceled it. I called the doctor up. I said, I can't put my dog down. I can't do it. And then I took my dog for a walk. She could barely walk. And she started throwing up blood. And that was what I almost needed to see to be able to do it. And it was a fucking horrible thing to do. I never want to do that again. I never want to go through that again. I don't want to do that. But what I'm trying to tell you is, like, when you're in a caretaker position, you have to make those type of hard decisions. You have to move to take care of your son. You have to watch your mom suffer, your dog suffer. That's hard. I don't want to live that life. I don't want to deal with that anymore. I mean, it's very hard, taxing on your soul. Liz, Marin is north of San Francisco. Let me see if that loaded. I don't know why it's not loading. I got good Wi-Fi. I'm so sorry, Liz. I don't understand why it's not loading. It's got to be something up with the website. Let me see if I do one other thing. If I log in And then I explore. Still won't let me go. I don't understand it. I don't know why it's not loading. Edith, I wanted my son to find treatment or other avenues that prevent enabling. Not easy. Sure, I could get more tax credits if my son was dependent. Yeah, but I want independence. No, that's a good comment. Yeah, I see my mom have arguments with my sister about that. Because my mom, yeah, I kind of understand somewhat. I'm not gonna say I know all your truth, but I understand kind of what you're saying. It's an entanglement. It's very tough. It's very tough. Yeah, guys. I mean, what we're talking about tonight is, no matter where you live, in a car, in an apartment, in a beautiful Corrado Axion. And what we're trying to do is trying to figure out how can we live our dream and not live the nightmare. Well, one is we need our health. So if you have your health, even if you got to deal with someone else right now, thumbs up to you. Shout out to Tom. I know he's struggling a little bit. Two is if you have somewhat of financial capability to be able to afford some basic expenses, thumbs up. Keep showing up to your job. Keep making your money. It's your independence. Those are your cornerstones, your health and your wealth, to be able to do something. Now, what brings you back into the nightmare is your entanglements. Okay? Your relationships, even your children, even your parents. There's no one answer for that, but you certainly don't want to stay around too long and start to have a negative impact on your children, your mother, or whoever. Like I share with you guys a story when I got in a car accident when I was young. My head cracked a windshield. And I was in the emergency room in a hospital, and I told the doctor, don't call my mother. I love my mother. She's a great mother. They said, why don't you want us to call your mother? I said, because she's going to come in here nervous and upset, and that's going to hurt me more to have to deal with that energy than to just be alone sitting in this bed. Sometimes, even when someone loves us, they bring us more pain. Okay? So we need space. Okay? And that's why I tell you, you're better to live in a car than to live in an apartment with someone else, in my opinion. Is my opinion. Okay. So, Edith. Even a dream, yes, comes in small victories. Start with a layup. How do you build your dream? Get some layups. Okay, build your confidence. Confidence is empowering. Confidence gets you out of what brought you in the nightmare. What brings you in a nightmare is insecurities or overconfidence. There's two things that'll bring you in a nightmare: your insecurities or overconfidence. We can be broken, guys. We can never think that we can't be broken. Physically, financially, mentally, we can all be broken, myself included. I've been broken. However, we can't also, after we've humbled ourselves to that point, we can't live below our potential. We can't be scared to be bold. We can't be scared to step out. We can't be scared to be ourselves. We have to push forward. We have to be confident. We have to find a balance. But we can't keep people in our life that drag us back into a nightmare. We can't keep Freddy Cougars. There was one Halloween when I was young. I was Freddy Cougar. Okay. I had the mask with the burned face with the Freddy Cougar hand. Scary. Nah, I don't want to be Freddy Cougar, guys. I damn sure don't want to be that. What I want to do is pull up this damn 1,000 Trails camping pass so I can look at it for... let me see if I can do it this way. Try another way. If it doesn't work one way, try another way. I appreciate you guys. We'll take hydration again. Oh, I found a way to do it. Okay. So I'm going now through Google's Maps. Let's see. I don't know if I could do it this way or not, but we'll try. Okay, yep, I'm doing it. All right, so let me go back to live feed and see what Liz says. Liz said it's north of the Golden Gate. Okay. I hope you're still in here, Liz. Put a comment if you are. So I don't really know the Golden Gate Bridge, but I'm looking right now at San Francisco. And I see a couple ones. Let's see what this is. That's not it. Russian River RV Campground. Let's see if that's Thousand Trails. Yeah, that's Thousand Trails. So what about the Russian? It's with the Trails collection up. So the Russian River RV Campground is in Cloverdale, California. And it looks like it's part of the Trails collection, which is an extra $200 in addition to the camping pass. So $800 a year. And you can stay 14 days and then you got to go out for 7, come back, but you can go to different ones. Okay, so that, you know where Cloverdale is, Liz? Yes, here, no worries. Thanks for checking it. We're going to check this out. So let me search Cloverdale, and I'll just search from there to the Golden Gate Bridge. How far is that? Because I don't want you to tell me your exact area, but I'll just say you're by the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, it's an hour drive, 44 minutes. Oh, no, wait. Never mind. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. That was wrong. Hour and 17 minutes. So about an hour and a half drive if you were at the Golden Gate Bridge to get to the Cloverdale, California. And Cloverdale, California is where the Russian RV campground is. So that's one. Okay. Now we're going to go back and we'll find you another one, Liz. Because all you got to do is find 2 campgrounds in that general location and just every 14 days go to a different one within the system. So that's one. If you like that one, I don't know if you like that one. They also have one, San Francisco RV Resort. Is that Thousand Trails? Let's see. We'll go find out. Yeah, that's part of the Trails collection. San Francisco RV Resort right there. It's in Pacifica, California. Liz, your go. Now, these things may be crowded in the summer. I don't know. They open on May 15th every year, and they close on December 31st. So they open in May and they close in December. But you're still good. And the San Francisco RV Resort, it says here, is just 15 miles from the Golden Gate Bridge. Huh. That looks good. Liz, why don't you go there? You're straight. Liz, are you watching this? Edith says, when I think, I got to figure out how to share my screen on these live feeds. That's my next step to improve these. Edith, when I think nightmare, I think, yeah, well, Frank's going through. I'm praying for Frank. The drama is exhausting. He's in love, man. Yeah, we got to pray for Frank, man. He's got a good heart. The wrong relationship destroy your life. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It's true. No problem, Liz. And no problem, Edith. Yeah. Yes, you got a bunch of campgrounds. I knew on the West Coast, there's a bunch of Thousand Trails. A bunch of them. And that's just a couple. There's a bunch by that area. The Russian campground was actually out of the way. You got the Santa Cruz Ranch RV Park. Where's that at? In Scotts Valley, California. That's the Trails collection. Look, if you're really liking these, get you a used Thousand Trails membership for about $3,000-$4,000 on the used market, and then you can go from campground to campground. The camping pass will just start you. You can go in for 14 days. You have to be out for 7. But, even I wouldn't get the membership until you try it out and you like the campgrounds. But again, I've never been to these. I don't know if they're a dream or a nightmare. But in my opinion, at any RV park just about or any campground, that's a dream compared to stealth parking in areas you don't know. Or just stealth parking. Don't stealth park right now. I don't want you to be scared. Liz, I think you're going to be fine, Liz. And don't you have a doggy? Do you have a doggy, Liz? I think you have a dog, right? I want to see you do some videos of that Corrado. You don't have to put your face on it. What color is your Corrado again, Liz? Shout out to Liz. Shout out to Edith. So, Edith, let me ask you this. If you're still in here, Edith, what vehicle do you have? Car, SUV, or are you looking at an RV? And let's just live your dream right now, Edith, in our mind. Because to live your dream, it has to start in your mind. My mom taught me this. I should have named this the Boom Boom Room. There was a movie, Life, with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Great movie. And at one point in the movie, they both were living a nightmare. They got locked up falsely for a crime. But what Eddie Murphy would do at night was he would get together with other inmates and they would go to this imaginary place called the Boom Boom Room. It was a club. And that was, it allowed them to dream and to have hope. And in the beginning, like Martin Lawrence used to be very negative because why are you guys dreaming? We're never going to be able to go to a club. That's stupid. Sometimes I have to catch myself on some of my videos where I crush people's hopes. Never let someone steal your dreams. Now, what I try to do is I try to empower people to get intense, to get you to be intense, because I don't want you to just have a fantasy. I want you to put paper to pen. I want you to put hope to action so that you can actually do it. But I also understand the value of just the hope itself, the dream itself. So, Edith, let's talk about how you see yourself, the dream of living on the road, so we can get excited and cultivate some imagination. Edith says, currently camping in a Jeep Renegade. I'm currently living in one. It's a dream. Being in New Jersey sometimes a nightmare. Your environment matters a lot. She goes, currently camping in a Renegade, thinking dream would be a truck with a camper shell, okay, for a 4x4 and drive away capability. I watched a guy on YouTube, Edith, live out of his camp. Well, he long-term camp out of his pickup truck camper for a while. He would go into the mountains and things. The negatives with a pickup truck camper is you don't have climate control, so it's like any other car. It's a pickup truck camper is pretty much the same thing as an SUV. The negative is you have to get out of your car where you're driving and go in your pickup truck camper. The reason why I don't like that, because if someone came like in the middle of the night, like you're not by the driver, like a couple times people have come in the middle of the night when I was stealthing, and at least I'm able to start my car. Like if you're in a truck camper, if you're not in a campground, you got to get out and you got to start your car, you got to get out of your car. So I think there's more value, in my opinion, going in a car, whether it's a Prius or SUV. But if you're going to stay at campgrounds, truck campers, a thumbs up. If you're going to go off-roading, obviously the 4x4 capability, thumbs up. Your climate and the extreme temperatures is one of your biggest obstacles living on the road. But it's better to be faced with the climate issues than to be in a house or to be in an area you don't like. But it is something true, like just having that freedom in your mind is empowering. Like today I had a bad morning. I was a little bit down the dumps. I've been struggling a little bit the past couple of days mentally. And just the freedom, though, of knowing that I'm living simple helps me. Some people, it doesn't help. Some people say, it's a nightmare what you're living, Sam. I don't even understand why you like it. That's okay. Remember in life, to figure out your dream is not to get entangled in someone else's nightmare. What does that mean? That means, don't let someone else take a dookie in your pickup truck camper. Don't let someone else steal your dream. For someone else, it's a nightmare to live in a car, live in a pickup truck camper. But for you, if it's your dream, you got to do you. This is part of that confidence, that empowering. Like again, does it last forever? Again, nothing lasts forever. Things last as long as we have our health and as long as we have a level of financial capability. Obviously, you have to have a desire in life. But you have to take life one day at a time. It's true. It's a battle mentally. A big part of life is in the mind. A dream and a nightmare, you have to think about it like this, guys and girls. A big part of life is in the mind. A dream and a nightmare, they make you feel two different emotions. But they're both in the mind, not in reality. A wet dream is way different than a Freddy Krueger nightmare. Okay. But they're both in the same mind. Powerful thing. Got to take care of your mind. Let's take a hydration break. All right, guys, I feel empowered with this laptop. What do you want me to look up? You want to talk about place in Florida? Let's see what else I can look up here. Well, right now, look, the weather still sucks in Florida. I ain't gonna lie. And I had to talk myself off the ledge because I looked at that. Like right now, I'm looking in Southeast Florida. So again, with the humidity and with the heat index here about 100 degrees, you get the rain showers every afternoon. So in my mind, I have to think about that. Liz, so true. My entanglement mocked my mission of car living. And I lost a bit of traction because of trying to defend my lifestyle desire. And that's why I severed the relationship with my father. I was scared, guys, to sell my house and live in my car. That's why I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want anyone talking me out of it. But I made the decision. My decision wasn't impacting anyone. I didn't ask anyone for money. I didn't ask to park in anyone's house. So I said to myself, if I'm going to sell my house and if I'm not asking anyone for anything, I'm not going to tell them because I can't deal with the stress. It was like being in the hospital, and that's why I said don't call my mom because I don't want to deal with the stress. And sure enough, when my father found out, he started giving me shit. And I said, I can't take this. I cut him off. He was going to steal my dream or make it harder. I don't need that. Guys, because I didn't have a lot of confidence. I mean, I had confidence in myself. I did things in the right order. I didn't quit my job. Okay. I didn't plan it out. I planned it out. I visited Florida. I looked at my options. I was taking a higher risk. Okay. But it was a calculated risk. I was at that time, I was 37. I looked at my health. I looked at my circumstance. I looked at my exit strategy. I said, well, if I sell my house and living out of my car doesn't work, worst case scenario, I rent a place. Worst case scenario, I have to buy another place. Worst case scenario, I get an RV maybe and I eventually go do something. But until I kind of know what I'm going to do next or find a good thing, I'm not going to commit to anything. When in doubt, keep your commitments low. See, guys, when you see me shopping for home bases now, and I don't even know if I will, but I shop now because now I'm more settled in my direction. Okay? 3 years, I've done the work to lay the foundation for my next step in life. But when I sold my house, I wasn't at that point. Guys, when I sold my house, it was a shock. I mean, scary. Okay? And hitting the road is scary. And you're going to lose some relationships. You say, is it worth it? Well, guys, to be honest with you, I lost more money living in my car than I made. How? Well, one is I severed a relationship with my father. That I lost an inheritance. Not that he was a millionaire, but he had a paid off house. And, I'm sure that's a few $100,000 or whatever it is. I was the only one of his children that still talked to him. So I lost that money. Okay. 2 is I've lived a more physically uncomfortable life without climate control. Some people look down on me. Some people think I lost my mind. Why do it then? To achieve my dream. You say, Sam, I don't understand your dream. It's not their job to understand my dream. It's my job. It's not their job to understand your dream. It's your job. Do people understand Walt Disney? Guys, Orlando was a destitute swamp. He turned that place into the magical kingdom. I still wouldn't want to live in Orlando because it's not by the ocean. But it was in his mind and then through action that he created something better. His dream. What do you need to do to create your dream? You need to first get the vision. You need to get the boom boom room popping in your mind. 2 is you need to put pen to paper. You need to figure out a budget. You need to look at these 1,000 Trails camping pass. You need to logistically plan. Don't get in your vehicle until you've planned the first 6 months of camping. When I got my car, I planned out. It was a sketchy plan. I'm not going to say, but I planned out where I was going to park for about 6 months. Okay. Why? Because you got to shoot some layups before you go behind the 3-point line. Okay. Build up your confidence. Give yourself better odds. Mitigate the risk. Okay. Let's take a hydration break. I appreciate you. I appreciate Liz, Edith, Frank Breeze, all my members. Thank you. I appreciate those who watch. Click that thumbs up. Thank you. Liz also said, I don't share my dream with people now. You've learned. I need to stay focused. The difference between a laser and a light is focus. The power of focus. Good job, Edith. Heat is easier with a truck camper. With a truck camper van. AC more challenging. Yeah, but see, this is a good point here. The climate and the environment matters. But in the Northwest, good fans and ventilation should work. I'd agree with that. I think that's a good evaluation. Bad thing about the setup is I can't easily get to the driver's seat from the living space. Now, well, you got the right mindset. So you're thinking about the logistics, the temperature, and how you can provision this. Guys, I lived 2 summers in the height of summer in Florida with just a Walmart fan. Okay, guys, it's been 100 degrees the past 2 days in New Jersey. I got just this fan. Okay, I don't sleep in my mom's house. Okay, I sleep in my car. Okay, so at night, the temperatures drop. If you're in the Northwest, you're fine with a fan probably all year round. I mean, in the summer. In the winter, you probably have more of a challenge with the cold weather. Now, when I did 2 winters in New Jersey, and it got negative below in February a couple winters, I got pneumonia. Horrible. But I mainly got pneumonia from going indoors to outdoors, walking in and out of my car to work and to Starbucks, going in and out. And I wasn't wearing a scarf. I wasn't. When is it a nightmare to live in your car? When you have a cold, when you're physically hurt, it's a nightmare. There's really 2 things that's going to make car living a nightmare. Your health and your finances. If your money ain't right and your health ain't right, it's a disaster. Okay. Now, you can add extreme temperatures, kind of makes it less desirable, but doesn't make it a nightmare. Okay. A bug infestation make a nightmare. In Florida in the summer, they got like those flying cockroaches or whatever, and if you got food in your car, and once they get in your car, it's a disaster. I went through that last summer, never again. No, and there's only, like, I had netting and stuff on the side of my thing. There's only so much you can do. So you got to be careful about that. Well, let's continue to read. Good comments, guys. Liz, you help me stay steadfast because of your inspiring mindset, Sam. Very helpful. Well, I appreciate you, Liz, also. I appreciate connecting with you for a season, however long it is. Again, I put no expectation on other people to be with me forever. Why? Because I don't want that type of unhealthy relationship. I want to give people space, and I want my space. And I only want to be in reciprocal relationships. Part of me living a simple life, part of it, is because I don't want to have to be on the hook to other people. And I don't want other people to be on the hook to me. I'm able to take more risk and be able to be myself more because of the simple life. That's my dream. I get very hurt mentally, emotionally when I feel like I'm stuck and I'm obligated to someone and I can't get away from them because I need them so much. I don't like that feeling. I'm an independent soul. That's how I feel. I'm not saying it's always right, but that's how I feel. It's true. Let's continue to read. Liz, I'm called to this lifestyle. As I do it more, the reasons are revealed. Yesterday, I realized I need a detailed plan. You're figuring it out. For the first few weeks, you're going to do great in this, Corrado. I can't wait to see it. Helps with my anxiety. Yes, that's a good point. Okay. So to Edith and Liz, as you plan here, and even Frank, if you're still listening, when you're planning your dream, you have to put paper to pen. It doesn't have to be exact. But you want to budget. You want to plan where you're going to park for the first few months, where you're going to visit in Southeast Florida. Have some plan. Like, guys, when I planned on going to Florida, when I would just leave on vacation, I would Google Maps locations. I would look up different areas. You know, I would put a lot of research into where I was going. You know, don't just like shoot by the hip. You know, because you can never eliminate risk, but life is about mitigating risk, making it less. that increases your odds of success. No matter how much you plan, you're going to get stuck at times in bad situations. But then you use your flexibility. You start your Corrado Axion, you start your Jeep Renegade, you start your pickup truck camper. When you get stuck, you start your vehicle. That's the number one asset of the nomad life. Number one. Okay. To not use your number one asset is a disservice to what you're trying to accomplish. Edith. Edith, heck, if I stay in the Renegade, I think I'll be fine. Yep. As my dream is more about getting away from society and decompressing at will. Taking control of your life again. Getting away from the same supermarkets, the same people, the same neighbors. Getting away from visiting the same people. There is something therapeutic about nature. Now look, when you go in nature, you're going to see animals fight. You're going to feel the need to want to, maybe reconnect with society. But let it be, like you said, at your will, on your terms. At your will means on your terms. I like that. Now, I don't go in the middle of nowhere. Now, I went in Florida to the Florida Water Management District. It's free camping. If you register online, you get a permit. Those campsites are in the middle of nowhere. No hookups. Some of them are nice. They had this one, what do they call it when they have horses? Esquarian? I'm not saying that right. And when they have horses, like Esquarian campsite, let me look it up. It's the best free campsite in Florida. It's like the DuPont campsite in Florida. Esquarian? I'm not saying that right. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, what was the name of that campsite? I'll find it. Yeah, in Florida, they don't have BLM, Bureau of Land Management, like they do on the West Coast, which is free camping in the middle of nowhere. They have the Water Management District sites, which you have to get a permit online, which is very easy. Yep. The Dupas Family Campground. I recommend you go to the Esquarian, or whatever, where they have the horses campsite. No hookups, but it's a beautiful free campsite in southeast area Florida, right by Lake Okeechobee. You can camp there for free up to 30 days, non-consecutive per year. Dupuis, D-U-P-U-I-S campground. I got to register online. It's a good place. But look, yeah, it's a great thing to be able to get up and move at will. One negative thing about having a home base is, can you get up and leave at will if you had a home base? You could. If you had a house, you kind of got to close the house up. I remember I was looking at a home base, an RV lot in Florida, and the RV came with the lot. And the guy selling it said, hey, look, Sam, if you buy this and you keep the RV here all summer and you decide to leave, you have to keep the air conditioning on because mold could form. Very humid here. And he goes, RV is maintenance. He goes, unless you're going to tow the RV with you, you're better off, you have to run the AC. You have to take care of the RV. So it's like the only thing I like about an RV is if I'm not going to be there, I want to tow it off the lot. So there's just a concrete pad. For me, living in my car is a dream because it's low maintenance and a lot of flexibility. So the only way a home base is digestible to my spirit, to my dreams, to my goals, is if I can find something that's not too much maintenance, not too much entanglement. Edith, I listened to an audiobook called The 3-Day Effect. I'll have to look that up. That lightly goes into the scientific benefits of going into nature to reset. That's a good word, reset. I think it's important to occasionally disconnect. I think that's wisdom. Yeah, let me look up the 3-Day Effect. Uh, Google says the 3-day effect, it boils down to this. Your brain needs a break from technology and everyday stresses. You need a break from technology and everyday stresses. It takes 3 days in nature for your brain to relax because science, the 3-day effect, is a term coined by Utah bookseller Ken Sanders, who noticed a significant shift in group members on 3-day rafting trips. Good recommendation, Edith. You know why that's a powerful recommendation, Edith? I remember when my sister was hooked on drugs and we had to go to like family counseling for her. One of the family counselors had said, the whole point of detox is to get the physical dependency out of your system. What is detox? A 3 to 5 day program where you don't do drugs so that you can reset your body. So you say to yourself, Sam, if you could just go 3 to 5 days without doing drugs, without drinking alcohol, without smoking cigarettes, without eating unhealthy food, why after the detox do people relapse? Because there's no physical addiction. After you do the 3-day detox, there's no physical addiction. Your body's detoxed. Mental. And that's why some people who watch me and have to thumbs down, you don't want to admit it's a mental problem. Not a physical, it's a mental problem. Never forget it. And it's hard, guys. Life is partly mental. What's the difference between a dream and a nightmare? In your mind. In your mind. Mind's a powerful thing. Powerful. I don't take credit for being strong-minded. I don't look down on people that have problems mentally. But I put in the work. So I'm also not going to let someone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. I'm not going to let someone steal my dream. Get the fuck out of my life. Members only yacht club for life. Never forget it. Never forget it. You got to have boundaries, guys. One thing I learned in life, someone ain't living their dream, they're going to steal yours. You say, Sam, did your father try to steal it? Well, my father wasn't on drugs. Now he's got OCD. That's a mental disorder. Obsessive compulsive disorder, mental disorder, not physical. What does OCD mean? You got to have everything in place. What's life? Life is very much not like that. Guys, why do you think the coronavirus has caused so much harm mentally? Because people have lost their routines, their rhythms. Humans are creatures of habit. Living in your car, you got to be adaptive. Big thing to be adaptive in life. So for my father, a big part of it was, oh no, my son has changed something I knew. He couldn't handle the change. Big part of it. That's why sometimes when you look to move, you look to sell your house and move, the biggest threat to your dream is those in your close proximity because they're scared of the change that you're about to inflict on life. You force people to change when you change because you're not staying the same. People don't like that. When you change, it's like running a Brillo pad across the life of everyone you know. They can't accept it. People you worked with, everyone. If you added any value to their life, it's going to be tough for them to accept. However, the ones that are worthy to stay in your life, they not only accept it, they say, do what you need to do to get yourself where you need to go. My mom didn't understand it, but she said, Sam, I love you. Do what you need to do. Some people didn't understand the memberships and they didn't even join, but they said, Sam, I understand, like Don and Jenny from Melbourne. Other people, they said, Sam, I don't understand, but do what you got to do. Some people came back. They refused to even DoorDash, and they're spiteful. They want everything for free. Guys, do what you got to do. Do it, whether it's moving, selling your house, or members only chat. Do what you got to do. Now, you got to face the consequences, because everything has consequences. Selling your house, cutting down memberships, everything has consequences. But the worst consequence is to live someone else's nightmare. You want to live a terrorized life? Keep someone with a mental disorder that until they get their way, they'll create 20 different accounts and thumbs down you. They want their way. They'll never get their way in my life. Whether they got OCD, whether they're just nasty or whether they want planet-free pizza from Planet Fitness. Guys, you're not going to terrorize me to submit to your will. See, that's the problem. Some people think if they cause enough problem at work, they'll get a promotion. Opposite. When you bring more peace to your job site, you get a promotion. When you bring more conflict, you get demoted. You get eliminated. I know a guy, he thinks, he's got some skill set. He's a smart guy, savvy guy. He don't look too good, but he's a savvy guy. He's on YouTube doing a lot of Florida stuff. And he always blames that he can't get ahead because other people trying to keep him down. But he got a nasty attitude. That's why I got kicked out of school, and that's why I blocked him. I known him for 2 weeks. I saw he's a piece of shit. Smart guy, but piece of shit. And he blames other people. He blames his looks. Now, he got what it takes, but he don't take accountability for his life. Guys, girls, people want to help you. But the right people want to help the right people. The wrong people want to get the fuck away from you because you're a piece of shit. Other pieces of shit hang out with other pieces of shit. Trash hangs out with trash. Showgirls taught me that, but then showgirls try to give me some shit. Okay? She said, Sam, times are tough with the coronavirus. Well, DoorDash. Shit, when you do DoorDash, do you do it for free? I don't. Respect your time. Hey guys, look. You gotta set. See, the only way you're gonna set some fucking expectation in your life for yourself and for those who are gonna be, you gotta be willing to deal with the consequences. That's it. Be careful, guys. Because I hate to say it, but a lot of people look to steal your dream. The good people, though, they don't want to steal your dream. They want to say, look, even if I don't understand it, do what you got to do for you. Okay. There's a level of the journey you got to walk along. Get your health right. Get your money right. Get your mind right. Don't go to war. I don't promote, like I know Jay-Z had a thing like, I got my mind right, my money right, I want to go to war. I don't want to go to war with people. There's no value in war. I don't want to be a tough guy. I don't want to be a tyrant. Okay. Because I know that anyone is capable of being broken, including me. Anyone can get destroyed. Like I tell you, you don't want to be overconfident. I'm not overconfident. But you don't want to be timid either. There's a scripture in the Bible that says if you're timid, basically you'll be destroyed. The Lord did not give you the spirit of timidness and fear, but of power, love, and self-control. Oh yeah. Let's take our hydration break. We're on a members-only yacht club tonight. Edith. Oh, I read it. Edith. My son has OCD. I pray for you. That's not easy, and I don't mean to laugh at that. I went through some battles there. And social anxiety disorder, I pray for you. You can understand. I can understand too. In love and respect to you and your son. I had helping. I'm going to share a story with you in a minute. I want to finish reading your comment. I had helping him to become a productive adult who has held a job now for 2 years. That's a huge accomplishment. I give you credit. I couldn't do it. I give you a lot of credit for that. And owns 2 vehicles now. Well, he should only have 1. You should never have 2 vehicles. Never. Why? Too much. My father got married for the 2nd time, destroyed his life. My father built the 2nd house, destroyed his life. It's the 2nd thing that destroys your life. The 2nd house, the 2nd car, the 2nd job. Yep. Why? Because if you have OCD, 1 is enough mentally to take care of. 2 is overwhelming to the mind. Too much stuff will destroy your mental health. Especially if you got OCD, is my opinion. And he owns 2 vehicles. Time for me to fly. I'll tell you the truth. I give you a lot of credit, Edith. I give you a lot. I remember my father, when my grandmother was still alive, his mother. My grandmother bought him brand new socks. He was an old guy too. I mean, mothers, even when my grandmother was in her 70s, 80s, she bought her son, my father, socks. He was in his 40s or 50s. I was a young kid. I remember this. And my father got 2 pairs of socks. That was a problem right there. But I remember my father saying to my grandmother, "Oh, Ma, you bought the wrong pair of socks." He was very upset because they didn't fit the order of his life. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, why would you even get mad at your mom buying a bad pair of socks? Like last night, I ripped my sock, putting it on. It was brand new socks from Walmart. I got a whole new pair. And one socks. Whole new pair. 12-pack. And I love you, Liz. You leaving? Is NYC bad now? No. NYC and New Jersey, not bad. There's still some stuff shut down. But the gyms aren't open and stuff like that. So that's bad. But there's not zombies walking outside. And again, New York had 12,000 people die, Florida 5. So the main thing is, though, if you're a high-risk person with diabetes, overweight, whatever, obviously, look, you don't want to get it, but still the percentage of population that have died from the coronavirus, it is less than 1% of society. So that's true. Frank, I can't wait to get the F out of NY. I can't wait to get out of New Jersey. But right now, I have to be honest. Being in Florida would make some things better, but I need to tough it out. I need to discipline myself. It's better if I wait till October. Better. For me. So get through life one day at a time. As a nomad, we have to look at the time of the year, the season, and our situation. We have to be self-disciplined. That's the difference between a dream and a nightmare. Liz, yeah, answered that. Love to you, Liz. If you're leaving, we love you. Thank you. Edith. My son owns a 2003 Avalanche he bought 2 years ago. We just keep to haul crap. Get rid of crap. The other he leases is an electric bolt. Oh, I did a video about the electric bolt. How much did he end up spending on that? Because when I look at the electric bolt, it was listed at like 40, but after government subsidies, it got down to about 30. We work a few blocks from where we work, so his vehicle costs are minimal. Yeah, that's an interesting comment. So one is, if you have a vehicle just to haul crap, the only way I would keep that vehicle is if hauling crap pays you money. Part of minimalism is efficiency. Okay. And crap creates a budget. The more crap you have, the higher expenses you have. You know, like if you have a truck just to haul crap, your expenses went up. Even if the truck's paid off for you, got insurance, you got gas, you got maintenance. I had 2 vehicles a couple times in my life, and they were very inefficient to have 2. I kept a hoopty sometimes, and I had a nice car. Never keep a hoopty in a nice car. Why? No need for 2. People who have 2 cars have 1 rotten in their driveway. Now again, there's exceptions. If that truck is part of a business of trash removal, of hauling, of contracting, it has value. Now the electric vehicle, like you're saying, your lease payment is $275 a month. If that electrical vehicle, if it helps you commute for free without paying for gas, over a period of 5 years, it may give you a return on investment. But we have to think through the ownership of more than one item. I had a guy who knew everything he bought pairs of twos. He was in debt. I almost bought a second home. I would have been totally devastated. I was already devastated with one home. One home is a lot to take care of, not 2. Like sometimes Liz asked me, I remember about the Corrado Axiom. She said, Sam, the issue with the Corrado Axiom is I don't know if it could be your only vehicle. The only way I would get a Class B would be a Corrado Axiom because it's short, and the only reason I would do it is if it was my only vehicle. I don't want 2 vehicles. Now, if I got the Class B, I wouldn't be able to DoorDash, and that's why it's a big deterrent. I want to keep all my revenue streams open and my expenses down. That's part of living your dream. Edith, he can change his bolt free at the dealership. Okay? He's got some flexibility there with the lease. Well, the bottom line is, Edith, I gave you a lot of credit. 1, for raising a child. 2, for being a single parent. 3, for raising a child with a disability and OCD. 4 is now he's at least productive and got a job. Praise the Lord. You did a lot. You deserve to be free. I hope that you're able to fulfill your dream. I really am pushing for you. Is life worth living if it's a nightmare? Like you said, I think you were saying like with the elder mother. When your mother got elderly and she was suffering a lot, she's like, life. You don't want to live life when it's just a nightmare. There's a scripture in the Bible that says you can get so old you can hate life. Don't forget. It says don't forget to enjoy life while you're young. Don't forget to honor the Lord when you're young, but don't forget to enjoy life. There's a scripture that says it's foolish to be too holy. It's foolish to be too good. It says, why destroy your life? And it also says, don't be too evil. Why die before your time? But if you're not doing some things that are a little bit wild, you're not enjoying life. That's what the Bible says. The Bible says it. King Solomon, he says, don't be too good. Don't be too holy. Some of you people are caught in a religious dogma, and that's why you're nasty. That's why you thumbs down. That's why you fake profiles. That's why you don't let people comment on your channel. Because you're not really holy. You haven't circumcised your heart. Maybe you have a circumcised penis, or maybe you want to circumcise your son's penis. But you don't have a circumcised heart. You're a fucking religious dogma freak. Religion saved you from mental insanity, but now you've become a religious nut. Oh, religion attracts the mentally destitute. However, I got caught in that algorithm, and faith can help you break some mental addictions. But if you don't check the religious dogma, you will go from one mental burden to another. Now you're caught in the religious dogma. Well, Jesus said, I came to make your life free of these religious burdens. And you went right back to the law. You went right back to the law. There was a big debate about that in the New Testament. If you're supposedly free now, why are you going back to the law? The law was a religious doctrine that you had to follow certain things to be holy. A lot of people ain't holy. I'll tell you that right now. They're not holy. Guys, no one's holy. Jesus says, who's really good? No one is. If Jesus said no one truly good, who is? Moses killed 3,000 people. Muhammad had many wives, banging young chicks. Buddha was obese. Circumcise your heart, man. Let's take a hydration break. Yeah, it feels good to be in a yacht club, guys. Why? People can't walk through my mind with their dirty feet. Gotta have boundaries in life, man. The dream and the nightmare, all in the mind. It's a light breeze. I found a nice tree to park under. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have rent. I don't have everything I want, but I have a lot. And I have a lot to be grateful for. I'm grateful for my members. I'm grateful for my mother. I'm grateful for my health. If I was in my house right now, would I be grateful? I was always thankful because I realize how fortunate I am in life. I put the work in, but I've always realized that. But I don't want to clean a house on a Sunday afternoon. I could see myself walking around a Corrado Axion, a Class B motorhome, and having a little bit more comfort. I could see myself living in a car for several more years. I could see myself buying a home base. I could see Sabrina in the members only chat. Are you at the beach? I'm about 10 minutes away from the beach. I was at the beach, but I had to come inland to get some Starbucks. I have my afternoon Starbucks, Sabrina. And then I figured I'd go live a little bit early because it's a Sunday afternoon. And I'm just in a free-flowing mode. How are you, Sabrina? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're drinking more water. And I hope you're enjoying the day. I was at the beach earlier. I'll go back to the beach every day. I try to go to the beach. I have part of living the dream is every day I want to fully submerge in Atlantic Ocean. Once a day, it's usually around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I fully submerge in Atlantic Ocean. Whether I'm in New Jersey or South Florida. Because to me, That's what makes my dream a reality. The ocean. And fully submergent. I don't want to look at the ocean per se. I don't want to put my feet in the sand. I want to fully submerge, head to toe. Does that matter? It matters. To me. So love to you, Sabrina. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you had a good lunch. I hope you're doing the best you can. Sabrina, I'm staying hydrated. It's hot today. Get some sun today, good. Maybe even go fishing tomorrow. I like that. It's good to get out, to be in nature. Edith had recommended a book called The 3-Day Effect, which means we disconnect from some technologies. We disconnect from a routine. Disconnecting from a routine is a big part of the nomadic life. But you got to have a routine to keep your sanity. You got to bounce. But disconnecting, getting away, and doing some different things allows you to reset your mind, reset your soul. You need that in life. You know, for about 10 years as part of a church, it helped me, but going to church every Sunday destroy your life. It will. After a certain amount, you can't have that rigid routine. For about 10 years, it was a blessing, but I had to get out of it. For about 10 years, I went to church every Sunday, and I went to Bible study every Wednesday. It was a blessing for that season, but I had to get out of it. Why? Because you got to have your own time back. Guys, church is going bankrupt now anyway with the coronavirus. They're over. Edith. My other challenge to live dream, euthanize cat or wait for 20 years cat to die. She just won't die. And I won't travel with her old cat issues. Well, if she's 20 years old, she's at life expectancy. So, I mean, I don't know her particular individual circumstance, but let me Google what's the average life expectancy of a cat. Average life expectancy of a cat. 15 years. The average life expectancy of a cat is 15 years. The average expectancy of a dog is about 10 and 12 years. So if you got a 20-year-old cat, yeah, I mean, again, not that I say I recommend these situations and everything, but yeah, I mean, look, the life is, I don't know what type of quality of life a cat at 20 years old could have, but that's your decision. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, if I'm honest, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily feel bad about that. There's some people I know, they keep adopting pets. They bring pets in more suffering for their mental insecurities. I know some people, they keep adopting cats to save them, and they destroy them. My mom got caught in that algorithm. She took in a third dog, almost destroyed her house and destroyed her life. She had to give the dog away. So, I mean, you know, I don't know if you want to give the cat away. I know some people struggle with that because they can't see someone else raising their cat. Because if you give your cat away, you know who's going to take it. Some overweight person that's in a shithole, and they just taking in cats like left and right. Yeah, look, guys, you got to do what you got to do. Frank, what do you need if you just jump in your car and go to Florida? You need a budget. You need a steady source of income. You need to know the terrain, meaning there's a big difference between a bad neighborhood in Miami and $1 million neighborhood. You need to plan out where you plan to stay. You need to visit the area. You need to look at rest stops, campgrounds, hotels. You need to Google crime rates. You need to Google Maps, image view, street view areas. Once you get down to the area you want to visit, start to Google Street View the area. You know, like if you Google Street View and you see a hooker and a guy dealing drugs, I don't think that's where you want to go. Okay. If you see a gun shop on the corner, that ain't where I want to go. There's a lot of gun shops in Florida. If you see a pawn shop on the corner, do you want to go in that neighborhood? Your environment matters. You can be in Florida and you can be in hell. What do you need if you're going to jump in your car to go to Florida? You need at least $2,000 in a savings account. You need at least a steady income reliability of $2,000. You need to know the area. If you haven't visited, you better do a lot of research. I visited first. You better Google Maps image view where you're going. You better know where you're going to stay for the first 6 months and calculate that in your budget. If you can do those things, you should go in October. Okay. If you go now, you can do it, and you'd probably be somewhat happy, but it's going to be very tough. It's the toughest time of year to be in Florida is the end of July to the end of September, weather-wise, hurricane-wise. If you don't have a house, if you don't have a fully self-contained RV, you'd make your life a little bit harder right now living a primitive life in Florida. So you got to think about all these things. Edith, Frank Breeze, $1.49 super chat. Appreciate that, brother. I think that's a coconut emoji. Well, brother, we shall be down in the land of plentiful MILFs and coconuts, where in the rich part of Florida, they chop down the coconuts with the maintenance guys before they land on your head and kill you. I like that. Edith. Thank you, Frank. Edith. Usually the country sheriff's department websites will break down crime by street in their county. Yeah. Hey, look, Frank, if you want to name some spots, I'll tell you right now if they're a shithole. Because I've been in just about every part in Florida that's good and bad. Okay? Well, on the coast. Inland, I don't go inland. Not New Jersey, not anywhere. Okay? So, yeah, but Edith, like I said, would I put a cat down 20 years old? Yeah, if the quality of life was low, yeah, I would, if I'm honest. Do I recommend doing that? No. Do I recommend getting another pet? No. So, tough call, not easy decision. Frank Breeze, Fort Lauderdale. Parts of it are bad. Parts of it are good. Very crowded, okay? A lot of night bars. But unless you're directly on the ocean, I would not recommend Fort Lauderdale. No. Okay. I had a troll from Canada. Okay. He had one Airbnb in Fort Lauderdale. He thought he was Donald Trump. He's Donald Trump. He became to be a troll. Disgraceful guy. Pompano? No, I think I went to an RV park in Pompano. Let me look that up, though. I didn't spend too much time there. Nope. Initially, no. Hold on, no, I looked it up, man. Fort Lauderdale, unless you're directly on the ocean, no. Pompano, let me look that up, brother. It's all about that tonight. Again, guys, when you get west of Highway A1A, the chances of the area being crappier up. When you go west of Highway 1, area go way down. Okay, you want to stay on the coast, man. You want to stay on the coast. So Pompano. Nah, I didn't spend too much time there, but I would say no. I'd rather you go a little bit more north, okay? I'm looking at the map right now, Frank. I'd rather go a little bit more north. Boca Raton, okay? I want to see you in Boca, man. Boca Raton, go a little bit more north. That's about 20-minute drive north. Delray Beach, parts of Delray Beach inland a little suspect, but Boca Raton, Delray Beach, way better, in my opinion. Again, everything's relative. There's bad areas everywhere. But Boca Raton and Delray Beach, just north of Pompano Beach and just north of Fort Lauderdale, way better. Way better, in my opinion. Okay? And then if you went north of that, if you stay on Highway A1A, you're okay. If you go inland, you got to be a little careful. Okay? Holiday, Florida can be nice. If you stay on A1A. And Ventura, that's a rich area, can be nice. Yeah, Miami Beach, all that's a go. Crowded. Let's continue. Frank, yeah, Delray Beach, thumbs up. You gotta be careful. There's some sections inland of Highway 1, a little suspect. But overall, it's a go. Edith, Vero Beach, suspect. I wouldn't recommend Vero per se. There's some areas on High A1A. Shout out to my guy, Internally Inspired. He's a good YouTuber. Not a member, but a good guy. He's a vegetarian, good guy. He lives in that area. Jupiter, thumbs up. Okay. Jupiter, thumbs up. Good area, great area. Shout out to my Jordanian friend who gave me that coconut. I still remember you and your daughter. Shout out to Jupiter, Florida. Sabrina. Are there any BLM places, building Bureau of Land Management places in Florida? No, they have water management places in Florida. Similar to BLM, Dupis Campground is the number one campground, the Asquarian one with the horses. That's what I recommend. Would that be a good way to start? Only in the winter, because most of the water management free camping sites in Florida are inland, and it's very hot and a lot of bugs. And so I wouldn't recommend utilizing them, and they're pretty much all primitive, no hookups. I wouldn't recommend using them until at least November, December, when the weather cools down. Yep. Love to you, Sabrina. Edith? Pompano sketchy. I agree. Edith's she's a ex-Floridian. Edith. Boca Raton better. Yeah, she's been to Florida. Frank. I don't know if I can live in my car, might stay in a hotel. Yep. You can live in your car if you go once you get to November, because the weather dies down, the humidity dies down. If you have a fan, if you go to some of the water management campsites that are free, if you go to some campgrounds, you could stealth park, you can go to rest areas for a period of time, you'll be okay. You have to move around a little bit. A hotel may build up your confidence, but don't go in a crappy area, because you're going to think Florida's a hellhole. Florida has some bad areas, guys. I don't want to make it not, it's on Earth. Any place on Earth is a dream or a nightmare. Any place, okay? And so research is your friend. Not making too much commitments to areas is your friend. But like Edith knows, she grew up in Florida. It could be good or bad, okay? Just like New Jersey. Look, there's some parts of New Jersey that are nice. I'm just not a New Jersey guy, but there's some parts very nice, okay? So everything has its pro and cons. Let's take a hydration break. Edith, don't sit in your car all day. Get out on the beach and hike. Excellent comment. I agree with that. I totally agree. The longest I sit in my car at any one time is during these live feeds. Why? Because I see people, though, who do live out of their vans, maybe, that spend a lot of time in their van, but they go by the ocean, and there's plenty of places on Highway A1A that during the day, you can go in your car or van, open up your windows, you could lay down, or you could just walk around that area and you'd be fine, okay? During the day. At night, different story. You can't do that, okay? But like I always tell you guys, if you were struggling on what job to get a nighttime security job. Get a nighttime job being a Planet Fitness checker in. Just check people in, scan their card, okay? Why? Because then you've solved your number one problem as a nomad. Where am I going to go at night? At night, you're making money. You're a security guard. You're a Planet Fitness person. During the day, you can go to those free parks at the beach, right on Highway A1A or whatever, and you just sit your big ass or whatever in the car if that's what you want to do. Good job. Stretch Pack. Stretch PK, what's up, man? Edith? Yeah. Stretch PK. I work overnights at Home Depot for the win. Stretch PK for the win. Excellent comment, brother. Good to have you, man. Guys, girls, if you can solve your biggest problem as a nomad, where you're going to park at night, if you can solve it by actually making money, and if you work at Home Depot or even Planet Fitness and you work the nights, you can make close to $2,000 a month. Why? Because, guys, $2,000 a month is about $15 per hour. Okay? So if you're not making $15 an hour, you can make that with a little effort. Okay? A little side hustle or whatever. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that, but, people who don't like that, they'll never like me. So don't even try to justify yourself. So Stretch PK, good job putting effort into your life. Good job solving the night shift. And for all my introverts out there, if you're an introvert, if you don't like people, work the night shift. Why? You don't have to deal with a lot of people. Not a lot of people at Home Depot at night. You're probably stocking shelves. Not even a lot of people at Planet Fitness at night. Not a lot of people even when you're a security job. There's a lot of gated communities in Florida. You could be a security guard at the gated community. Now, can you do more than that, guys? You can move way up the ladder, but these are things that anyone can do. Okay, a little effort. You say, Sam, I got deep psychological and physical problems. Well, guys, then you got to go through SSI or SSDI. I'm not the government. I'm not the Federal Reserve. You understand what I mean? Guess what for me? Edith. Same in the winter environment. Don't want to freeze at night in the winter in your car. Now, I agree with that. I did a couple videos when I was freezing my ass off in my car. There was one video I did called Layer Up. You should search on YouTube, Inspirational Nomad, Layer Up. I was fired up, man. I was getting so intense to get through the winter that I was in a wild mode. You gotta get intense to get through life, man. And but it shows you, like, even at that time, and I had no one really watching my channel at that time. I had less than 1,000 subscribers. Right now, there's 37 people watching me. There's probably about 3-4 members in here. But see, I'm not scared to do what I need to do for me, because I realized that I started with nothing, I'll leave with nothing. Life, if you're willing to put effort into your life, you'll figure it out. Okay. And if you're a positive person, other people will give you opportunity. It's proven in my life. So if you have to justify yourself to someone else, if you have to give yourself away to someone else, they'll never be happy with you. They'll terrorize you. Like a person with a mental disorder, they terrorize their parents till they get what they want. Nope, not gonna happen with me. I'm not your parent. No, I'm not your parent. You ain't gonna terrorize me. I don't negotiate with terrorists. Okay? Yep, that's right. That's right. That's the hydration break. That's right. Yeah, I'm living a dream. Yeah, fuck it, why not? I felt good today. Yeah, I'm excited. Shout out to you, Stretch PK, man. Keep making that money back. Shout out to Edith. Shout out to my man Frank Breeze, Sabrina. Take care of yourself. Go fishing. Shout out to Liz. All my members, I appreciate you. I'm grateful. Yeah, guys. I always tell you guys, when it comes to anything in life, Home Depot, Walmart, security guard, YouTube, main job, IT, construction. Number 1 is show up. Number 2 is keep showing up. Be consistent. Anyone can show up the first couple of weeks. Be consistent. Number 3 is have an overall good attitude. Okay. Now, in your creative ventures, you could be a little bit more of a prick if they're your side thing. If they're your main thing, you always have to have your A game on dealing with other people. Okay. 4 is you have to create a budget where you're living below your means so that you can be yourself and you can have some confidence to take some risky decisions. If you're not living below your means, you can never be yourself. You can never speak up. You can never take a little bit of risk. You don't have the buffer. You don't have the buffer. And I've been there. And I said, never again. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. If you're single, praise the Lord. If you don't have kids, or if your kids are grown, praise the Lord. If you just got done having pets, don't get another pet. And these are my opinions. Who wants to steal your dream? Who's ever living in a nightmare? You won't see a nasty side of someone until you basically tell them you're about to move. Until you tell them you're about to change. Real nasty. I never saw really a certain side of my pastors till I told them I was going to leave the church. I never saw, well, I'm not going to say I saw that. I'm not going to say that about my father. I saw that. You kind of know who you're dealing with. Okay. And once you leave, you're going to see a certain side of people. The side that you always saw. You say, Sam, everyone's imperfect, including you. That's right. But if you say, for my well-being, it's time for me to leave, and people don't celebrate you as you leave, they never celebrated you. Huh. They fucking never celebrated you. You had to walk on eggshells. You had to submit to their will. You had to give 10%. You had to be terrorized by your own child until you can get them out on fucking SSDI. Fuck that. Nah, fuck that, man. Yacht club for life. I've been to strip club. Yacht club for life. Edith. Every day I sell vehicles to people that are so far in debt who are buying $70,000 vehicles. Ain't that the truth? It definitely helps me see my choice for the dream is going to make me richer than them. See, when I say start at a goal of $2,000 per month income, if you are single or an adult without kids or anything, $2,000 a month is a good starting point. I'm not saying stop there or whatever, but that'll get you to where you need to be. Now you're gonna have to pay down debt, but the hardest part about the simple life is staying simple. The hardest part about the simple life is not going into too much debt to get an RV or to get a vehicle or to get a home base, at least initially. Okay. Then over time, what you want to do is keep it simple. I've lived simple for 3 years. I've lived with basically nothing. Okay. And I've kept working. I've added revenue. I've added revenue through DoorDash, through YouTube. Why? Because I kept doing extra stuff. Okay. Your life is going to be what you put into it. A lot of people don't hear that. Don't want to hear it. But then a lot of people just don't justify yourself. What I can tell you is, like this, you can be laid off. Like this, you can go from making great money to making bad money. You probably know. I bet you in February, you were selling cars like this. In March and May, car sales went down. Now car sales probably picking back up. But guys, they can turn off the income like this. That's why I gotta have a couple streams of income. Or at least a couple options. That's why I don't eliminate DoorDash. Why? I don't want to eliminate another option of independence. Every time you eliminate a stream, you're going to be subject to someone else. Now again, I probably, if I would have played the game with my father, I would have made more money. Because there's no greater revenue than an inheritance. That's one lump sum of whatever. But why waste your life for an inheritance? Keep it. Live your life. Don't let anyone control you. Don't let anyone control you. Why does someone want to control you? They can't control themselves. They got OCD. Nah, I don't want to live that life. Again, it's like everyone's got to figure out what works for them, man. I know most people live a completely different life than what I live. Completely different. And that's their right. That's their dream. Whose job is it to figure out your dream? Your job. Whose job is it to sustain your dream? Your job. Whose job is it to get out of a nightmare? Your job. The dream and the nightmare. A lot of it falls on you. You need the grace of God. You need people to help you along the way. But there are people that are willing to help. If you put a little effort, help yourself. If you show up, if you have a good attitude, add some value. Don't worry about making everyone happy. It's an impossible task. Don't worry about justifying yourself. It's a bad task. If you have to justify yourself, you're going down the wrong road. Wrong road. Someone's playing New York State of Mind. Nas. Yeah, guys, I don't know. I think we banged it out tonight. Or today, this afternoon. I know I did a live feed early. And I appreciate, again, Frank, Edith, Sabrina, Liz, Stretch, PK. All my members. Everyone who watched. Keep pushing forward, guys. Live your dream. When you're caught in a nightmare, look to make some changes. And sometimes discipline yourself not to overreact, because sometimes the dream doesn't just happen. It takes time. Okay. When in doubt, simplify. When in doubt, don't overcommit. Why? When you wake up, it's better to wake up with less commitments than more. Okay. So when you're in doubt, don't add commitments to get an emotional high. Keep your commitments low. Better to wake up with less commitments. Frank Breeze. Happiness is self-made. Well, some of it's the grace of God, because some people are really naturally mentally disturbed. Some is your own effort. Some is the relationships you have. Some is life is not an exact science. But to your point, some of life is under your self-control, and you can change. Focus all your energy, all your time, all your resources on what you can change. Why? Because that's sanity and that's serenity. Okay? Don't focus on what you can't control. Yep, Edith says, we don't want to we don't want to do self-suffering. Self-deluded suffering, not good. All right, guys. God bless.